This is the Making Noise podcast.
I was thinking about this just earlier on today, is that there's a certain amount of nonsense that the world will throw at you just naturally. And that's going to happen. And by the world and existence, I mean, there's a certain amount of a flat tire, an illness, a death in the family. Like there's a certain amount of that will happen that is chaotic and random and it's unexplained. We cannot account for it. That there's going to be a percentage of that in your life. Fine. And so that's the discomfort that existence will throw at you. And I think what happens is mistakenly, people will go, well, there's a certain amount of discomfort that existence will throw at me. Why would I possibly want to put more discomfort on myself? So I'm going to put that discomfort level at 0. I'm going to put the discomfort level that I put on myself at 0%. And I think that's a mistake. And it's a reaction, right? And so what ends up happening is, let's say you have 100% discomfort that the human psyche can allow, right? That the human soul can allow. And existence throws 40% at you. 40% of your total discomfort is just shit that will happen, right? I think I think in response to that, people see that they're like, wow, 40, like I'm getting all of this crap in my life and it's chaotic and it's unpredictable. I'm going to minimize the amount of discomfort I bring into my own life. That doesn't bring that 40% down at all. What it does is it allows the discomfort that other people will put on you and sets that at 60%.
It amplifies it.
It amplifies it.
Yep.
But if you put your own discomfort level at 30%, at 40%, at 50%, the amount of discomfort you allow other people to bring into your life goes down.
So true.
The amount that existence throws at you will remain invariant. You're right. You cannot change that. But if you willfully engage in creating your own discomfort, the thing that goes down is the amount of discomfort you tolerate from other people bringing into your life. You know, you expend a lot less energy worrying about that argument that you just had with a sibling when you're like, well, I got 90 minutes of practice I have to put in today.
Yeah.
When a coworker asks you to do their job for you, or when a coworker asks you to do their job for them, it's a lot easier to tell them no when you go, sorry, on Saturday, I already have a 5-mile run planned.
Right. Yeah.
So in increasing the discomfort that you elect, what you're actually minimizing is the discomfort that you allow other people to bring into your life. And the discomfort that existence will throw at you, even though that remains invariant, you will feel more confident in battling. Because you're like, I bring 40% of discomfort into my life on a regular basis just because of me, just because I want to. Oh, flat tire? Screw it. I can figure that out.
Yeah. I fucking got it.
I got it. Oh, I just got sick and it took me out for 10 days and I'm behind at work. Screw it. I got it.
Yeah. Let me write a symphony.
Yeah. I just finished writing a symphony and performing a recital and planting a garden in my backyard. Fine. Screw it. I got a flat tire.
What I love is you're pointing out that by spending time in discomfort, you actually become impervious to it.
Yes.
When it's like someone else bringing it on to you.
Absolutely. And that's why I think pulling this whole conversation full circle to almost 2 hours ago, I think that's why minimizing our our personal discomfort is a horrible mistake.
I'm
It's a horrible mistake for so many reasons. For so many reasons, right?
Yeah.
It disempowers us. It disempowers us. You know, like the amount of bullshit that my brother tolerates in his life is at a staggering minimum. This is a guy who runs 33 miles at a stretch.
God.
And he works a full job. Like he gets up early, goes and works a full job, will run double digits miles every single day. He has a wife, a house, a yard, a 6-year-old, and he crushes it.
Hell yeah.
He crushes it.
Your brother's the man.
My brother is the man, and he manages to make that happen, I think, because he elects to bring discomfort into his life.
Dude, I love that, man. I love that. Even that wording, like elects to bring, like it also makes it, to me, I'm also hearing like being selective about the discomfort you're allowing to bring.
Absolutely.
Life, you know?
Absolutely. Because again, discomfort is not suffering, right? When we suffer, we are experiencing pain that is inescapable and not of our own volition. And I think confusing discomfort, confusing struggle with suffering is a big mistake. You know, suffering exists in the world. It's something, it's part of the human condition. Like we will all encounter suffering. The question is, how much of that suffering will we wait, I want to be very careful how I say this. We can confuse what we elect in our lives as suffering with actual suffering.
So I want to try to distinguish it, if you don't mind. Like,
sure.
Distinguish suffering from discomfort. Like, how would you define suffering?
Again, to me, suffering is something, and maybe that's what I refer to as the 40% of existential discomfort, right? Suffering is something that threatens our survival in a way that we did not choose. So suffering might be a catastrophic illness. We did not choose that. That is not something that we elected, and it brings us great pain. A death of a loved one is suffering. We did not elect that. We did not choose that. That is pain. And so I think it's a big mistake to say, oh, I suffer for my art. Well, actually, then you're bringing that on, man.
Yeah.
Or woman or non-binary person. You're choosing that then.
Right. Right.
And if you're choosing to suffer, that's on you.
Right.
For that, right? There's plenty that we as human beings, as part of our existence, will suffer with. That's a part of living. So in what we choose to do, if we veer that towards suffering, I think that's a big mistake.
I think it's dangerous too.
It's so dangerous. It's dangerous to our mental and our physical well-beings. Yeah. You can make yourself sick totally. in body and spirit. And you know, if you're not experiencing joy when you create, you need to reassess what it is you're creating, how it is you're creating, and why you're creating. I am firmly in the camp that we should not suffer for art. It's not a prerequisite. It's not, they do not go hand in hand. We do not suffer for our art. I experience joy when I compose. I am bringing something into being that did not exist before I sat down at my keyboard and computer and went click, click, click on my mouse with Finale 25. That's incredible. That is joyous. That is absolutely joyous. And anytime I practice, if I feel myself suffering, I have to recognize that I am bringing a mindset to that practice session that is not healthy. That is not the saxophone. It is not the reed. It is not the piece of music. That's not what's bringing me suffering. I am creating the suffering because my mindset is not right.
I think another thing with suffering and being creative is that, I mean, you said this, but like, it's not possible.
It isn't.
Like you can't, like in the most literal sense, you can't be suffering and have the wherewithal to be creative, to find creative solutions to do something effectively and then produce something like powerful.
Right.
You know?
And so it blows my mind that we equate suffering with a creative state, when to me, suffering means an existential survival threat. Right? Talk to somebody who is very sick and without shelter and without food and ask them, hey, what did you create today? They will rightfully want to kick your ass.
So with suffering, I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm just
no.
I feel like there's a level, there's like somewhere in there in the definition is the word inability or something like that. You know, like the inability brought on by some, like you said, external, something be like you said, the death of a loved one, a sickness, but I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think oftentimes people wish suffering on their creative selves to block their creativity. And why would a person want to block their creativity? Because they fear empathy.
Oh my God. I think that's.
They fear the elimination of their persona.
Mm-hmm. They're avoiding discomfort.
They're avoiding discomfort. They're avoiding discomfort. Where if you think about creativity as inherently something that is uncomfortable, that eliminates your persona, and is fundamentally geared toward connecting with other human beings, it's pretty amazing how easy creativity becomes when you accept those three conditions.